What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy P. Skip. Welcome to the best half hour of your entire Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's time to get into his course. My squad with me, T-Mac.
Hola.
Chili Will.
Gracias, amigos.
Let's do this.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. For those of you we didn't get to say it Sunday, Tuesday is still a good day to say Happy Mother's Day to all those great mothers. If it wasn't for mothers, we wouldn't be here. So we so appreciate all the mothers. We honor you, we respect you, and we love you. With that being said,
Amen.
With that being said, T-Mac is not with us today. So me and Chili are gonna do this thing.
T-Mac getting interviewed for one of them NBA openings. He ain't here today.
That could be it.
They interviewing him for the Toronto job. That's why he ain't here.
Hey, listen, I just want tickets. That's all I want. Just let me come to a game every once in a while. That's all I'm asking for. So listen, let's get into this. Ecclesiastes 4:4 in the Message says, "Then I observed all the work and ambitions motivated by envy. What a waste. Smoke. And spitting, just like spitting into the wind." And I said that because the NBA playoffs are on. And Boston Celtics beat the 76ers in a Game 7 blowout to advance to the Eastern Conference Championship to face the Miami Heat. Also, Will's second love, the Los Angeles Lakers, beat the Golden State Warriors in 6 to advance to the Western Conference Championship.
You didn't say in a blowout. In a blowout. All right now.
It was really over at halftime.
Yeah.
That game was really over at halftime. They'll be now facing the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference Championship. Who do you think is coming out of the East, and who do you think is coming out of the West?
Man, I think Boston coming out of the East, and I think Denver coming out of the West. A couple of things. Number one, they both higher seeds. Yeah. One is a 1 seed, one is a 2 seed. So Miami, I think, was a 7 seed, 8 seed.
8 seed.
And LA was a 7 seed, right? Yeah. 7 seed. So if you go by seeding, then those two teams should be favored. If you go by the type of records they had this year, they should be favored. And plus, Denver were pretty healthy, and they haven't been healthy in a long time. They're pretty healthy, so it looks like they're gonna have the advantage. But it's gonna be good to see what happens when the Joker and the Brow clash. My guess is the Brow gonna fake an injury by the third game.
Hey, I don't know if you saw it. When the Brow got hit in the head, they wheeled him out in the wheelchair, and Shaq and Kenny were crying laughing. They're like, what a hit in the head got to do with your legs? I mean,
no, I didn't see it.
Shaq and Charles Barkley were just lighting him up for that. Lighting him up. But I agree. There's a couple things for me, Will. One is, as far as Golden State, I really do think their dynasty is done. Because what can they do to get better other than getting rid of some pieces? What's really crazy is, before they were talking about Draymond Green was on the hot seat and he was going to be gone. Now they're talking about Jordan Poole because he didn't produce.
Well, they done paid the man, and ain't nobody else going to pay him that amount of money, so he can't go nowhere.
And they just paid it to him.
Yeah, I think he got like a 4 or 5 year contract. Right. He ain't going nowhere.
And really, it doesn't kick in until next year, I think.
Yeah.
It's year one of it.
This coming year, I think.
Right. So not this season, but the season coming up.
Right.
When I think that money kicks in. So the question is, they can't keep all of them, and they can't keep Draymond Green unless he goes for the league minimum, because
no, he has a player option.
Right.
He has a player option. I think he's going to exercise that option, because one of the comments that he made after the game was that we not done. We'll be back next year. So that's an indication that he planned on exercising the player option.
Or it's also, that's what he thinks.
Yeah.
Because let's just be honest. That locker room didn't get tore up until you hit Poole.
Yeah.
And that's a huge consideration. And is that locker room going to be any better next year?
Well, everybody going to blame the season on him punching Poole, which, is understandable. It's understandable. But, they had a rough season. They had some injuries. I mean, Wiggins missed a whole bunch, like 2 months, and Steph missed a month, and Klay coming back off that major injury. So he really kind of got healthy about the middle of the year. So they had some issues. So, Gary Payton was injured and he didn't come back. So they had some problems. So we'll see, but they right there.
But the biggest issue is some of them guys got to get paid, especially their bench players. Like I think Kuminga's coming up. There's a few contracts that are coming up that they need to figure out what they're going to do about them. And so we'll see who they keep and who they let go. But also, the GM is talking about leaving.
Yeah.
Because he's the last year of his contract.
Yeah, and they haven't renewed him. So obviously, he want a lot of bread, or they don't want him.
Right.
Because they can't agree. Because if they could agree, it would have been done already.
Right. Another thing that's going on, and then in the East, Miami don't seem like they've been tested in the playoffs yet, because the Bucks didn't test them.
No.
And neither did New York.
No.
And so I think Miami wanted to avoid playing Boston until they could possibly meet in the finals.
Well, they they got a chance to that maybe Hero could come back if it goes deep. So we'll see.
Yeah. And I think Miami also understood an 8th seed, if it beats the 1 seed, now has the easiest path to the playoffs. I mean, to the championship.
Yes, true.
And I think they knew that. And they said, I'd rather take my chances with Milwaukee, because if we beat them, everybody else is just butter.
Yeah.
And so, and I know they didn't fear New York at all.
No.
And so, and
but
honestly,
you notice, New York wasn't letting Jimmy Butler beat them. As soon as he got the ball, they was doubling him, getting the ball out of their hands. Getting the ball out of his hands, which is, something that maybe the Bucks would have did, and then maybe they would still be in it, and Budenholzer would still be in Milwaukee. So, a lot was seen in this playoffs. A lot was exposed, both coaching wise and player wise. It's some players who are limited. New York, what's his name? Barrett. Barrett. Yeah, Barrett is limited offensively and skill wise. And athletically, he's very limited. Right. And the biggest problem with New York is they don't have any athletes. They don't have anybody who plays above the rim, or they don't have anybody who has a high skill set except a point guard. That's it.
Right. And once again, playoff Randall showed up again.
Yeah.
He's
limited. He's
limited. And I think New York's about to blow that team up. And I think
they can't because they ain't been in the playoff, and they won a round of playoff. So they gotta keep this core and put some stuff together, because if they tinker with it too much and then they don't make the playoffs, them New York fans gonna be pissed as can be. So they finally got a sniff of the playoffs, and they gotta try to, what they really need is if they got a guy like a Klay Thompson, if they got a guy like It's a few other players out there that they could get that would really help them. Klay Thompson would help them because they need shooting really, really bad. So a Klay Thompson in New York would be perfect.
I like Dame Lillard for them.
They can't. I don't know if they can afford Dame Lillard. I mean, I like Dame Lillard, but now then, what we gonna do with the point guard? We got Brunson.
Well, Dame don't have to play point. He can play two. Because remember,
he too little. He too little. He can't hold none of the twos.
I get it. Well, he don't play defense anyway. You don't get Dame to play defense. You get Dame to get buckets.
But when you got him on the floor like that, and you got two short dudes like that, you know, that mess everybody up because now the other four dudes got to be overworking. So they can't go get a point guard. They done play Brunson. They got to go get a shooting guard. So I think Klay Thompson would be a good, or they could go get the kid from Utah who's on a free agent, Claxton.
Oh yeah.
They could get Claxton, and you know what? They could go after Middleton.
They very could.
Because they need shooting really bad.
And they got cap space.
And they can't shoot a lick, man. They ain't got nobody who can hit 2 shots in a row.
Right. So listen, Hebrews, let's keep it moving. Hebrews 13:7 says this: obey those who rule over you, and be submissive for those that watch out for your souls, as those who must give an account. Let them do so with joy and not grief, for that would be profitable for you. Now, I read that because once again, your boy Ja Morant has been suspended long-term by the Memphis Grizzlies for yet another gun charge. Another one. In less than 2 months, you're on IG with another gun, showing off a gun again. And the Memphis Grizzlies said they're suspending him long-term through investigation to figure out what they're going to do. I'm thinking at this point, they may have paid you. They may want you to be the franchise, the face of that franchise, but Adam Silver's going to have to do something here. He gave you a pass the first time.
You can't even feel sorry for him, man. This is just stupidity. This is unadulterated, straight stupidity, what he just did. And this is the bad part. The coach at Memphis, I know he went out of there so bad. He's like, I don't want to be coaching these type of guys. I want to get out of here. I know he wish he could get bought out and go to a different team. It's some people gonna come after him because he's an outstanding coach, and I know he don't want to deal with that Memphis stuff no more. So I think somebody gonna try to buy him out, and he gonna probably get out of Memphis because what can he do? He can't do nothing.
Yeah, I agree. Let me ask you this question. Just, do you think it's time for New Orleans to move on past Zion?
No.
You think they need, now how many years has he been in the league now?
They got to give him 1 more year.
Because he's been in the league 3.
Yeah, they got to give him 1 more year. Zion is kind of like Embiid. Philly, a lot of people saying Philly should have moved on past Embiid. They didn't, and now he wound up being the MVP of the league, and he wound up being a perennial all-star and all of that stuff. So they hung in there long enough where they could get a return on their investment. I think Zion is right there. The key thing with Zion is how he looks coming into training camp. If he looked like he's lost some weight and got his weight under control, okay, we ready to roll. But if not, it's time for them to move on. It's like Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley was the round mound and rebound. And then all of a sudden he got in shape and thinned out, and he had a nice long career. So I think it's not going to cost them any more money to go 1 more year with him.
But they gave him an extension.
I'm saying they got to pay him anyway.
Right.
They got to pay him. Now, if somebody want him bad and want to come get him, okay, we can talk about that. But would you go get Zion?
No.
Who's going to come get him?
Right. And I get it. Sometimes these draft picks are gambles, and you're paying on potential. And some of these.
Well, we about to see tonight. because the draft lottery is tonight. So we about to see tonight who's going to get the Frenchman.
Victor Wembanyama.
Wembanyama, nicknamed the Future. I like to call him the alien, but they trying to nickname him the future. I like the alien because he's an alien. He's from another planet. So we're going to see that later on tonight. So we'll see what's going on.
Right. So listen, moving on to the NBA coaching carousel. Here's a stat for coaching. Every NBA head coach with the best record in the last 6 seasons is no longer with that team. That's Coach Bud here. Monty Williams was gone within 48 hours of losing. Bud was what? A week?
No, it wasn't that long.
Right. Within a week of losing, Bud was gone. Within 48 hours, Monty was gone. Quinn Snyder and Mike D'Antoni all gone. Within the right after.
Hey, and Nick Nurse.
And Nick Nurse.
Because he won the championship with Kawhi.
Right. How amazing is that the NBA has gotten real intolerable with coaches, mad grace with players, but none with coaches. That they will move on from you so quick, it ain't even funny. And, to a certain extent, after 3 years or so, you know what their system is, and you know whether or not that system's going to work. You kind of can figure that out. Bud got what, 4 years here or 5?
5.
5 years, but they knew 3 years ago that he was not a good in-game adjustment maker. They knew that. But the championship saved him. And remember, I was the man we're talking about. Bud's got to go. He can't make no adjustments. He can't make any adjustments. And I think the new ownership was like, listen, I want a return on my investment. And part of it is I need a coach in here that can help me win so I can get some of this money back that I overpaid for my portion of. So, and then Monty, part of Monty's situation, I look at him going, Ayton was out, and Chris Paul, once again, was injured in the playoffs. And so I didn't have my leader, and I didn't have my center. And I couldn't get upset at my center because he was getting just dogged out like he did against the Bucks. He got injured this time. And so I think, honestly, Monty Williams is gone because he lost that locker room. Because he lost Ayton.
Yeah, we knew that a long time ago. Well, what about Tyronn Lue? Tyronn Lue didn't have either one of his stars. He hasn't been fired yet. But, everybody's saying that, they're building that new arena. They're going to go one more time with this squad and see what happened. But sometimes it's not fair. You have injuries and you can't control that. Monty Williams couldn't control the injuries. Tyronn Lue couldn't control the injuries. But then you have teams like New York that are perfectly healthy. The Bucks, who are, pretty much healthy. You have different teams that Sacramento, who was pretty much healthy, and they don't win. And it's just hard, man. It's the people tolerance level to losing as far as coaches, man, it's on a short leash.
Absolutely.
But you can't feel too bad for him. I mean, Bud got paid $16 million to leave.
Right. And probably is going to end up with another job.
Oh, he's going to end up with another job quick. And, $16 million, that's more than half of his team make.
Right. And which is really crazy because you look at a Bud, and the thing you say about him is, but we knew what we had in him. Because the same things he did here is the same things he did when he was in Atlanta. Remember, Atlanta will have the best record during the regular season and fizzle out in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's been fired for the same reason before. The other thing, though, with Bud that I'm really concerned about is that his system is such a great system. His system created these all-stars and MVPs and defensive players of the year and all that. His system did that. And I just think that a lot of the success that the Bucks had was because of Bud's system. And people don't want to say that. But, we had Middleton and Giannis, Holiday been on 2 or 3 teams. Lopez been on 2 or 3 teams, and them guys never really came to fruition like they did this time, except in Bud's system. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of system that the new coach run, and if that system is still going to have Giannis playing at an MVP level, or Chris Middleton playing at an all-star level, or Lopez playing as a top 3 defender in the league level. So it's a lot to be seen.
It is. It is. You know,
and let me add this. Excuse me. Let me add this. Middleton and Lopez still ain't under contract. Middleton is a free agent this year, and Lopez is a free agent. So we still got to sign some people.
Right. And that's the one thing I saw is, but one of the things I heard is that Drew, because Drew has to be signed too in the next year, I think.
No, he got 2 more years left on his contract, and he's already said at the end of this contract he's retiring from the NBA.
Right. That's what I heard as well.
Yeah, 2 years he has.
Speaking of, you know, just the coaches in Milwaukee, 2 coaches have been interviewed that, you know, some people are wondering. One, they're up in arms about the fact that the Bucks have interviewed Mark Jackson.
Who's up in arms about that?
Some people. I don't know why. You mean to tell me the architect of Golden State has the ability to come to Milwaukee and you upset about that? What's wrong with you?
What did Mark Jackson do? What happened? He did something that had to do with his religion, didn't he?
Yeah.
His faith.
From what I heard is there was some LGBTQ players, coaches that they wanted him to hire. And he was like, no, I don't want them on my staff. I want to do my coaches this way. And I want to run my team this way. And because he refused to hire him, they fired him.
Okay. So some LGBTQ stuff. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So that's why he's been pretty much blackballed from the league.
Pretty much. Okay. The other one is Golden State's assistant, Kenny Atkinson. They interviewed him as well. You know, so I'm looking at this and I'm going, out of the 2, I'm still a Mark Jackson fan. I'm a Mark Jackson fan. One, because I believe he would bring something innovative to the Bucks. I think he'd breathe fresh life into them. One, as a player, from understanding the game from a player, and a player who played at a high level. And 2, from a guy who's been watching, and commentating on the NBA for the last, 5 years, when he's seen everybody's system. He's seen
last 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. There you go.
Yeah, decade.
Everybody's system. He's seen everybody's defense, and I'm sure he's taken some of what works and figuring it out and making it into his own. And I think he could possibly do something and really take the Bucks to the next level. And so that's why Kenny Atkins, I don't know. You had the ability to take the Brooklyn Nets job. You're like, nah, I'm good. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want it. But I think he knew the writing on the wall was these cats is leaving anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing too, for Mark Jackson, I think the perfect fit for Mark Jackson, for him personally, is the New York Knicks. I think Thibodeau, it's been 4 or 5 years, and it ain't been totally his fault because he don't have a lot to work with. But I think Mark Jackson, being a New Yorker and from New York and played for New York, that'll be a good fit. They still need some pieces, especially shooting. But I would just like to see Mark Jackson back in the league coaching, as a head coach. I definitely don't think he should, take an assistant job. I mean, he's shown in every aspect that he's a leader of men. So I wouldn't want him to do that, but I would love to see him get an opportunity to coach somewhere in the NBA. It's a lot of openings, and it's getting ready to be more.
I agree with you. I just think at this point, the he definitely have to land in a place that, one, fits his personality, or that he could create a culture that fits his personality. You know, trying to build something in New York would be extremely difficult because you ain't got nothing to work with.
No, he ain't got nothing to work with.
I mean, nothing. And so for you to go to New York, it'd be like, I took this job just to get back into the league, not because I thought I could win. Because
but what if he got Clay? What if he got one of the Splash Brothers with him in New York?
That's fine, but what else does he have? He still got Barrett. He still got Julius Randolph. Only other thing he'd have is Malcolm, not Brogdon. Brunson. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, and is that enough to win a championship?
And I think Quickly has shown that he's not ready yet for this type of competition. I think he was, he got hurt and he didn't play a lot, but even when he was available, he didn't show that type of instinct that a Tyler Hero or Jordan Poole showed at a young age, or Tyrese Maxey showed at a young age. And he's in the group with them. And he hasn't really stepped out of that and shown that he could really be that type of player.
Yeah, so I don't know,
or Terrence Manns, he's with them and he hasn't stepped up a level. So I'm a little disappointed in where he is with his game.
Yeah, it's gonna be real interesting to see how things are gonna show up, how things are gonna end up being. So, with that being said, thank you for tuning in for another great episode of Into His Course, the #1 faith-based sports talk to your entire world. Until next week, have an amazing week. Peace.